Hey guys, Tommy with Elevation Every Weekend here. In today's video, we're going to do a quick ride-along vlog type video just to update you on the plans for the bikes that I have in the quiver for this year. Right now, I'm riding on my 2021 Salsa Bear Grease, and I do have big plans for this bike. But before I get to this bike, I just wanted to talk about the newest bike in our stable, and that's the 2014 Surly Pugs Ops. I did do a video of this bike recently. It's actually Paige's bike. But just to talk about it real quick, actually, we don't have any real plans for this bike other than to just ride it and enjoy it. It really is in excellent mint condition. It doesn't need anything. Might do a tire upgrade at some point. I'd like to get a set of Ednas on this because I am a big fan of those tires on my 2014 Pugs. But even that's not a real priority right now, so we're just going to ride and enjoy this bike. So next up on the list is the other bike I just mentioned, which is my 2014 Surly Pugsley. It's just the standard black version. I still ride this bike all the time. It is my grab-and-go bike, or if the weather's a little sketchy, sloppy, I'll grab this bike too. It's running great with the Surly Edna tires on, and I'm still not set up tubeless. And I don't really have any immediate plans to do that either, just because I think it's probably more hassle than it's worth on these wheels. This bike does need some attention, and I have mentioned recently that the drivetrain is about done for. Not only is it a low-grade, 7-year-old Dior drivetrain, but it's just kind of tired, and it has the micro shifters, which I'm not a big fan of. So I'll probably look to upgrade this to a newer, more modern drivetrain. Maybe a 2x10 SLX like I have on the Ops, but I also might seriously look at like a 1x10 option or something like that, especially since it is more just a fun to ride grab-and-go type bike. And then the other thing are the brakes need serious attention. They're probably actually the worst part of the bike right now. They're loud, they don't have much braking power. Hopefully just an overhaul of the Avid BB7s will do the job. But if not, I might look to actually change them out. But I do plan to keep it mechanical, keep it simple. Okay, now on to the Bear Grease, which I'm riding right now. So my plans for this bike this year, especially for the summer months into the fall, are to try to take some weight out of the bike and make it as light and fun to ride as possible, make it more of a speedier option. Since it is a race bike, I do want to kind of accentuate the speed aspects, and it is a carbon frame and it does pedal extremely well. So I'd like to take some weight out of the bike, maybe with some parts like the handlebars, maybe the seat posts. But the main goal I would like to do is convert it to a 29 plus bike for the summer. Right now I'm actively working on a couple options. One is an off-the-shelf option, and then the other one, and I'm most excited about, is probably having a wheel set custom built for it. Unfortunately, talking with my wheel builder, parts are hard to come by, so we're just kind of in a holding pattern right now, and he is looking. He's got me top of the list looking for rims and hubs, so we're just going to kind of play the waiting game for a little bit and see if we can get lucky and get some parts and hopefully build up a killer 29 plus wheel set. So that's my top priority. I am going to be patient and try to make that happen because I think that would really make this bike a ton of fun. If for some reason it doesn't happen, or if it looks like it's going to take forever to actually get the parts and get it built up, I may just go ahead and commit to a lighter set of tires, maybe even a slightly smaller set of tires on the stock wheels and see how that goes. This bike is going to kind of be focused on as my gravel grinder and my single track ripper for the summer. So hopefully we can get those 29 plus wheels for it and really have some fun with it. Okay, let's transition over to the Surly ice cream truck and talk about that bike. So now that we're on the ice cream truck, let's talk about this bike, because I have a lot of plans for this bike this year, probably more than any of my bikes. If you've watched my channel at all, you're well aware that I've had the Surly ice cream truck for over a year. I've done a lot with it in bone stock form, but now it is time to actually do something with it and really kind of take it to the next level and do some new and different things with it. So the main goal for the Surly ice cream truck for this year is it's going to be transitioning into my bike packing adventure bike for this year, and that's going to be in conjunction with the build I'm doing on the Tacoma and the bigger trips I do have on the agenda for this year. So obviously I will be kitting up the bike with a number of bags and racks and things like that. The accessories you need appropriate for adventure biking or bike packing. I don't have any big expedition type multi-day, multi-week bike packing trips planned for this year on the ice cream truck, so it doesn't really need to accommodate that. But I may do some overnights on it, but I do certainly want it to be capable of getting out there and getting remote and being well prepared and well kitted up for that type of riding. The one main thing I do need to kind of focus on changing though is the wheel tire setup. So this has the stock 26-inch wheels with the 4.8-inch tires, which is awesome in the snow and in max traction conditions or really gnarly trail conditions, as you have seen me do with that bike in various videos. But for adventure biking, bike packing, things like that, you want to be more efficient, minimize the rolling resistance some, cut the weight out. Initially, I really thought I might be able to, if I did get the 29er plus wheel set for the Bear Grease, I thought I might be able to shift the 27.5 wheels from the Bear Grease over to the ice cream truck. But unfortunately, I can't do that because the Bear Grease has an 11-speed cassette and the ice cream truck has a 12-speed SLX cassette, and those rear hubs are not compatible due to that. I was a little bummed I wasn't going to be able to be efficient and kind of reuse those 27.5 mule foots on the ice cream truck for bike packing. So I'm gonna have to do something different on the ice cream truck, and basically I have two ways I can go. First, I'm gonna at least start looking for maybe an off-the-shelf option, probably 27.5 fat bike. And if I can find a decent set of wheels, I'll just put some smaller, more efficient, lighter weight tires on it and call it good for the summer months on the ice cream truck, and then save the big 26 by 4.8s for winter riding only. And if that ends up not being possible or economical to do, then I will just simply swap out the tires on the ice cream truck with something, maybe even the Ednas or something maybe even smaller. Again, faster rolling, lighter weight. I don't really want to overthink the wheel and tire combo, but it really is a critical component when you're talking about a bike that's already on the heavy side and you're going to be kitting it up with a bunch of gear, trying to get it as efficient and reducing the rolling resistance as much as possible are definitely goals, but we'll see how it plays out. So for the ice cream truck, if you have any recommendations on frame bags, various racks, mounts, things like that, drop those down in the comments below, because I'm definitely going to start looking and definitely want to try to explore all the options before I start kitting it up. And if any of those things also happen to work well with the Salsa Bear Grease, that'd be a double win, because down the road I might want to involve it into some adventure biking, bike packing, things like that as well. So I'm all about trying to be efficient and have more than one use for any of the gear I buy. Okay, last let's just cover a few of the other bikes that you don't really see too much on my channel, but I do own them, so I just want to talk about them real quick. As far as bikes I might sell, I think I'm going to probably list and sell my Giant Anthem. It's a 2017 full suspension bike. It's been a great bike. I've only got probably 300 or 400 miles on it, and that's because I only ride it in legit trail conditions. I don't really ride it occasionally or anything like that. But it's been a great bike. It's still in great shape, and I think I'm probably going to list it just because I don't ride it anymore. I think last year I rode it 2 times on legitimate trail rides, and that was great, but it just really isn't my focus anymore. So I think I'm just gonna have to look at letting it go and reinvesting those resources into other things I'm more focused on, such as the bike packing and things like that. The other bike I'm kind of on the fence about is my 2015 Trek Stash. It's just an aluminum frame hardtail 29er. I've got more miles on this bike than any bike I own or have ever owned. It's been a great bike. It still is a great bike. I still ride it, but it is really due for a thorough overhaul. The suspension is shot. It's worn out. It's due for a replacement. The brakes are okay, but it's probably due for some pads. The wheels, are due for a full redo on the tubeless setup, and it does need new tires. The front fork is a lower end RockShox fork. It doesn't really do much. It's not that good. It's heavy. So with this bike, I'm kind of at a crossroads. Like, I'm not sure if I just want to put a little bit of money in it just to get it minimally functional and reliable and then just ride it, or do I want to invest more in it and maybe try to replace the fork, maybe even try to replace the wheels, something like that. It is a non-boost bike, which these days really kind of limits the options on the wheels. So last year I did do some looking, and it was a real tough time, especially in the rear wheel, trying to find a non-boost option that was reasonably priced and an upgrade. So not sure where that's going to go. I love the bike, so part of me really wants to keep it and just keep riding it and using it, but another part of me says that maybe I should just let it go also, and again refocus those assets into other things. As far as bikes that I may buy this year, more than likely I'm not going to buy any bikes this year, but I will admit, and this is especially if I did sell the Anthem and if I did sell the Stash, there is a part of me that is intrigued about maybe trying to find a hardtail 29er, probably a carbon frame, like mid-grade bike to use as a lightning fast gravel grinder You know, just fun to ride bike. But again, the bikes I'm looking at, which are things like the Trek Pro Cow, the Niner Air 9 RDO, probably like the 2-star build, maybe the Santa Cruz Hightower, which I don't even think is going to be available this year. All those bikes are over $2,500. You know, it's probably just not going to be in the budget or a good use of the money when I have all these other goals that are much higher priority. So that's the one bike, as far if I were to buy a bike, that I would probably consider one of those three, but more than likely not going to go that route. Okay guys, as of right now, that is the update. So I will be keeping you posted on what happens. So it's kind of a domino effect. If the 29 plus wheels happen, that would be best, and that would kind of really set things up. All the goals I have on the agenda, but I think at this point in time, the ice cream truck is going to kind of shift into focus here, especially since the TACOMA build is happening right now. You'll be seeing those videos before you know it. And then with the weather improving rapidly, we're going to start getting out there and using the ice cream truck and doing some new adventures and some bigger scale adventures than you've seen on the channel so far. So if you have any questions, any comments, any suggestions on gear or trips to take or things you want to see, definitely drop those down below. I do respond to all my comments. I have added a bunch of links down in the description below, and those links do really help out support the channel as far as this year's adventures and what's on tap. And if you're not already a subscriber, it does really help out the channel to subscribe to the channel. So thanks a lot and have a great day.